A pretty common take from a pretty loud minority of the fandom is that Boruto is rushed. However, I just can't agree, and I actually think that Boruto isn't rushed at all, and is very well paced from start all the way up to where we are now, which at the time I'm recording this video is chapter 2 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. People would even dare to say that currently 2 Blue Vortex is being rushed, which I think is kind of bizarre considering we're only in chapter 2 and have plenty of time for things to get elaborated on. So today I'm gonna be going over why I think Boruto isn't rushed. If you like the video, don't forget to of course leave a like, comment any gripes or disagreements you have with the video, as I'll make sure to get to everybody, and subscribe with post notifications on so you don't miss when I upload another Boruto video. And my first point, I want to talk about how people think that because the anime extrapolates more on the story, that the manga isn't a finished story. And to this, I say that just isn't true. Things can always be explained or even more explained in the story, but just because the anime goes more in depth, that doesn't take anything away from the manga. The anime also has to stall for time so that it doesn't catch up to the manga, because as we know, the anime is weekly and the manga is monthly. So of course there's gonna be filler or just original content that's different from the manga, to give time for the manga to get further ahead. Not saying the anime filler isn't canon, I really don't want to get into that, but you get my point. The only way I could see the anime explaining more makes the manga unfinished point working is if the manga had some sort of plot holes that the anime went and covered, but as of right now, Boruto doesn't seem to have any plot holes, or at least not any that I can think of. The next point I wanted to talk about is people thinking that when Boruto died, that he should have stayed dead longer and that he came back to life too quick. This is gonna be kind of brief, but there's no narrative reason to keep Boruto dead. If anything, it makes more sense the way it happened, because we already know that once the Otsutsuki soul goes away, that they won't be able to exist in the living, and Momoshiki's soul is clinging to Boruto's body, so it would make sense that Momoshiki would move quickly in reviving Boruto so that at the very least, he can still take over Boruto's body from time to time, and still exist in the living somewhat. Like I said, pretty brief, but I thought I'd bring it up since I disagree. Next, I want to talk about how people think Boruto's ending was too fast, and to this I don't agree. I think everything was set up to end where it did pretty well. In the entirety of part 1, we keep getting reminded that Boruto is gonna lose everything, and I do think it was climactic enough to end off part 1. And just like part 1 of Naruto, the events before the time skip gives us the reason why these characters need or could use one, so I do think it was a pretty good time to end part 1. This also ties into this point a little, but people also bring up the surprise plot twist and try to say that it came out of nowhere with Ada's ability. While I agree that there wasn't too much to hint at when it comes to the prophecy and Ada having the power or ability to do so, but I do have 2 pieces of evidence that I want to bring up. One being more direct and in your face, and the other one I could just be reaching with it, but I still want to bring it up. I'll start with the one I feel like I could be reaching with. So in chapter 75, Boruto and Momoshiki talk about a model possibly lying about Ada's charm ability, but then they switch off topic to talk about why their thoughts are crossing over to each other, and that's when Boruto starts to get the vision he has of the future, with his friends attacking and patronizing him. You could say that this was foreshadowing a little bit, just because Momoshiki and Boruto was literally just talking about Ada and the misinformation behind it, and then moments later he begins to see those future events, which would lead us into next chapter, chapter 76, with Boruto thinking about the prophecy again. However, I can see how someone will say it's reaching or too out there, so I'll leave that up to your opinion to decide for yourself. But where it gets more blatant is in the same chapter, we get a page of Boruto thinking about the prophecy again, and right in the next panel, it switches to Ada, which I feel like is definitely foreshadowing. And even if there was no foreshadowing with Ada's ability to basically rewrite everyone's memory, I don't know if that would make it bad, because it is supposed to be treated as a surprise plot twist. I mean, when Chapter 79 came out, very few people thought Boruto and Kawaki were going to switch lives, and we definitely didn't know it would be Ada to cast it with Kawaki being the trigger. And before somebody says that Momoshiki saying Boruto would lose everything doesn't imply what happened, I would just say that Boruto losing everything could mean whatever it does for Boruto. Perfect example is the last episode of the anime, when Kawaki and Boruto are on the Hokage monuments speaking about their futures. Boruto tells Kawaki about his prophecy, and Kawaki responds saying, "Boruto, what do you consider to be everything? Your life in the village, your family, your friends? I never had any of those things to begin with. To me, everything means that Lord Seventh continues to live," indicating that everything, when used this way, is pretty vague and can mean whatever is most important to Boruto. Now we can talk about the time skip, and this take is honestly just stupid. But people say that because we didn't get any flashbacks yet, and we don't know what happened during the time skip, that Two Blue Vortex is being rushed. Like I said, this is just stupid. Part 2 just started last month in August, and we only have 2 chapters, and me personally, I don't get how you can tell if a manga is being rushed or not with only 2 chapters. If you were to tell me that part 2 is moving at a rather fast pace right now, then I would agree with you. But fast pace does not mean rushed. I even posted a tweet on Twitter or X asking how part 2 is being rushed, and in the tweet I also asked if we were to get an entire volume of flashbacks and important details during the time skip, would it still be considered rushed? If I had to guess, I would say no. Those part 2 is being rushed comments would go away, in that we should give the story time to actually be a story. We still don't have all the details, and it is a monthly manga, so patience is key. They can't just give us all of the information we want all at once, because then it wouldn't be a story and would be no point in reading. All in all though, thank you for watching this video. I know this is more of a shorter video. I apologize, I just need to get a video out, and I didn't know another topic to talk about, and since this has been a take I've seen on Twitter or X pretty frequently, I thought I'd talk about it and give my opinions. Once again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe with post notifications on so you don't miss when I upload, and till next time.